Hello and what is up YouTube? My name is G3 Iron and there's a whole bunch of different links to go through here today because we got a whole bunch of information about the new passive tree. That's what's behind or above my slightly balding forehead here. This is a website that somebody's temporarily put up to be able to allow you to interact with essentially an overlay of the passive tree. This link is going to die though over the next 24 hours, and hopefully over the next 24 hours, the local fork identities POB link is going to be going live. We've got a couple of different links floating out there and around that are indeed, some of them are unstable, some of them have caused some crashes, and so that's why I just went to this website rather than re-downloading all of POB or changing things over. Anyway, we've got passive tree data. So there's a couple of different links. It's all going to be included down below in the video link description. One of these is the POE passive tree difference that's put together by a friend on the Discord, Jestkidding. He does a great job. He does this every single league. You can go back and look Expedition versus Ultimatum. Here you go. You can see there you go. You can see the options there. Ultimatum and Heist. Heist and Ritual, Harvest and Heist, Delirium versus Harvest, Metamorph versus Delirium. So like he tracks this stuff every single league, the new, the old, and then what's the same about all of these passives. You can just see there's how many lines are there actually? 120 different lines for this particular update for Expedition versus Ultimatum. And then for Scourge, this is just giving you a comparison of 3.14 to 3.15 versus 3.15 to 3.16. There are 120 changes. And now on Scourge from Expedition, there are 947 lines. So there's a lot of changes. Okay, a lot of changes. There's a ton of stuff that's changing. And some folks are already putting together compiled lists of nerfs, buffs, changes to builds, all that good stuff. So let me take a look at this. This is the main thing that I wanted just to bring to y'all's attention so that way y'all knew about it here today. There's already a discussion on Reddit, good old Reddit, with the passive tree Nerf Compilation. This is posted by Kelran just a few hours ago. He says, trying to make a list of everything that's been nerfed, list stuff here. So if you're worried just about stuff that's getting nerfed, there are several things, obviously, that are getting changed. Basically, the entire passive tree got reworked. And, of course, masteries are making a big change here as well. So just because something appears like it got nerfed based off of missing passive notables or even keystones getting changed, in some cases, not in every case, but in some cases, masteries are there to kind of help out and replace some of that power. But this is no doubt a passive tree rebalance patch in a lot of ways. So this is not just straight power creep. This is not just like what Delirium was in 2020, where we just got a whole bunch of new tools, and that's what we got. We just got new tools added, nothing taken away. A lot of things did get things taken away today. So here's a quick list of them. Miscellaneous. Primeval Force Cluster lost 5% LA pen, gained 6% LA damage, and 10% chance to inflict elemental ailments. So that's, it's going to matter for some things, and it's not going to matter for others because you're going to take care of that with your Ascendancy. Lethality lost 4% crit multi, 12% crit chance. Blade of Cunning lost 48% damage, gained 4% multi. Lots of mobility removed from the strength and int part of the tree. Diamond Skin, Rampart, Dark Arts, Precision, etc. Command of Elements deleted. Ophidan Aim deleted, and Bludgeon Blitz deleted. The channeling nodes, they're just gone. They're no longer there. Minions apparently have taken a pretty big hit, which elemental minions already we knew were taking a big hit with the changes to EE. But anyway, here's some of the changes. Enduring Bond, SRS, Phantasm Refresh on unique enemies removal and no longer exist anywhere. Spiritual Aid Cluster lost 30% minion damage, 4% minion life, 30% minion accuracy, gained 5% minion attack speed, cast speed. Grave Pack Cluster lost 13% minion damage, 4% minion accuracy, 6% minion attack speed, gained 2% minion double damage. Fearsome Force Cluster lost 22% minion damage and 10 int gained. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It lost the 10 int. It gained 11% minion AoE. Death Attunement Cluster lost 8% minion attack and cast speed, gained 2% minion damage. Anyway, I'm going to leave the rest of these. You guys can check them out. The link is going to be down below in the video description for you guys to check out. But to just put it mildly, one of the things that I love about Jestkidding's breakdown of all the info is because it's a document, you can search it. So you can just be like, hey, how many times are minions mentioned, right? And even if you wanted to sort your search to just like column E, just to things that are in the same category, or to things that are in the new category, or to things that are in the old category, you could limit your search to that. If you just want to look up mana, then you can go through and be like, hey, is Archmage stacking back? What about brands? A lot of people are already talking about brands. What about brands? Are brand skills back? Oh, look, there's some things about this. Oh, wait, you can cast an additional brand. That's interesting. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of info that's in this document. There's a whole bunch of info that's going to be coming out over the next, I assume, 24 hours or so, as Path to Building, the official local identity split, is updated. Right now, it says that I'm running the latest for the community fork. I'm pretty sure it's going to take them a while. Local Identity had a great tweet of Mr. Incredible putting on his mask saying showtime. Anyway, so there's a whole bunch of info that's going to come out over the next day to day and a half, would be my guess. Which means those of you who depend on Path of Building or like passive tree websites in order to build your characters, lots of people are pumping out these little helpful websites so that way you can actually go in and kind of mess around and start to plan out your build. If you want to take the risk and you want to download and launch somebody else's version of POB that's been updated, then you can do that as well. I'm sure you can find it. A whole bunch of streamers are already looking at it. Early on, a bunch of folks on Discord, on YouTube, and on Patreon are all asking about League starters. You're not going to like this, or some of you aren't going to like it, but on first glance, it does appear that some tried and true League starters are still going to be tried and true. All right, so don't be shocked if you see a whole bunch of people mentioning Spellslinger coming back in various forms, specifically Volatile Dead, Detonate Dead, or even ED Contagion Spellslinger or Chaos Slinger, however you like to say that. Don't be shocked if self-cast ED Contagion, Essence Drain Contagion, makes a lot of people's lists. It's just a very, very safe clear the 10x and get to maps and get early currency sort of build. Don't be shocked if that's out there for a lot of folks. Toxic Rain. I think Toxic Rain is right now getting a lot of hype surrounding Champion, which like Champion, yeah, there's going to be some interesting builds that are going to come out from Champion this particular league, I think. Champion like might even become a little bit of a spell-based build. Depending on how things go. With evasion and armor stacking that's available down there in the duelist tree, I think we're going to be a bottom-heavy league. That's my prediction throughout the course of the league. I could be wrong. It could be that just a whole bunch of Templar and Witch stuff comes out that's just absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so I would say Chaos Slinger stuff. Also, on top of that, Champion Toxic Rain. Also on top of that, for minions, while minions have lost a lot of their tools, or have lost a lot of damage numerically, it doesn't change the fact that they have a ton of tools at their disposal. You can simply have so many minions out that even with huge hits to damage nerfs, you're still going to obliterate the campaign and obliterate maps. And then as you acquire gear, you're going to be able to push into maps and take on bosses. Even as you acquire things like cluster jewels and you spec into cluster jewels. So, in some ways there's definitely nerfs on the tree. In other ways, though, summoners can survive nerfs in so many ways. Some specific builds can't, but in general, the archetype is still going to be fine. I personally would say the safest bet for this particular league and this particular league style is going to be skeletons early on. That's just me. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again, but I would say skeletons are probably one of the safer bets to get started off with. So that's just a couple of thoughts. Also, totems. Totems are looking okay. So like freezing pulse totems are still going to be looking okay. So again, don't be shocked if like stuff that was popular 2.5 years ago, even before Delirium Cluster Jewels came out, if that's the stuff that folks, one, go back to see if it's still okay on the new passive tree. But then also don't be shocked if those things which haven't gotten nerfed but have maybe even received a buff or two become very, very popular as league starters. Does that mean that niche builds and special snowflake builds aren't out there? No, it means that they are out there. But don't be shocked if when things change, human beings do this. When things change in an environment, human beings tend to gravitate towards the things that haven't changed, that they're comfortable with, in order to cope with all the change. Right? So there you go. End of psychology lesson. So don't be shocked if folks are suggesting, if even I'm suggesting, a whole bunch of builds that folks already know are pretty tried and true. Mana stacking might be back as well. Everybody's talking about attribute stacking. I think mana stacking might actually make its way back with this new tree. Anyway, that's enough speculation from me today. Hopefully you enjoy these couple of tools that are out there and you make use of them. And hopefully we all can be building our various builds and messing around in passive trees. And hopefully, of course, the community fork gets updated and we can all have official path of buildings updated and ready to go and making suggestions with the countdown until Friday. It's only the first day of the week, but we've only got a couple of days until League launch. So anyway, thanks so much for joining us today. And I hope that the upcoming 316 Scourge League is the league. A Mirror of Galandra drops for you. If you'd like any more information about the topics we chatted about today, links are provided down below in the video description. The G3 community has grown a ton over the last several years, and that's thanks to viewers like you and faithful Patreon supporters. Big shout out to longtime supporters and first-time supporters for this month.